Welcome to Festpod, the unofficial rock festival guide. I'm Neil Wilkinson, with our perspective on the latest news from your favourite rock festivals, our music guide for the month, and some special things that we've found in Festpod Favourites. So let's welcome my fellow hosts from the Heavy Music Awards panel. Please welcome Lee Ellingham.
Hello.
Hello.
It's really exciting that I've been chosen. Obviously, Well, I mean, I applied, and I suppose they picked. Yeah, but it makes me feel really important. I'm really excited by it. So hopefully, whoever I decide or I choose to nominate, hopefully I get listened to. That'd be nice.
You've got power, haven't you now?
Yeah.
Yes, well, potentially. I think what happens? Do all the panel members nominate somebody, and whoever gets the most nominations gets nominated properly? Is that right?
Your guess is as good as mine. That was my interpretation.
Anybody knows. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, that was my interpretation of it as well.
Wow! Imagine being involved with the Heavy Music Awards. That is quite
very
an
exciting.
Achievement. Eamon Short is with us as well. Hello. Calling you Toxiter. How are things down there? How are things down there, Eamon?
Well, last time I checked, they were fine. The do have a wobble though.
Oh yes.
Fuck's sake.
It's gonna go well. Yeah, we're good. It's been Christmas. I've got my new hat on. Don't know if you know I'm a Metallica fan.
Do you know, if you weren't wearing the hat, I would never have known.
I've not mentioned it, have I?
Do you know, it's a really nice hat. What's on the underside of the sun visor there?
It's actually...
Because I can see something flashing.
Oh, look at my hair. That's beautiful.
Oh, wow. Isn't that nice?
Well, that's cool.
Design.
That's cool.
I really like that.
It's going back on now, though, because that hair's disgusting.
Yeah, well, let's not get into hair wars. Let's not mention my hair either. Let's just move on from that. So, welcome along, Eamon. Nice to see you again. We don't have Rich this time around. It wouldn't be Festpod if there wasn't one of us missing. He, unfortunately, has had some adventures, but not of the pleasant and painless kind. So, best wishes to Rich. Oh, no.
Best riches to Rich.
No, you see.
That's what I heard.
Best rich is rich.
Best. See, it's a difficult thing to say. Go on, you try and say it.
Best wishes, Richard.
Best
anyway.
wishes, Richard.
So, get in touch with us on the socials or on YouTube by looking for Festpod. We're also on TikTok. So, hello, if you found us through TikTok. We don't do any dances or anything like that. Not yet, at least. That's a potential for 2023. But if you like the show and you're a regular listener, we're also now on Patreon if you'd like to support us. We love it if you would choose to do that, and it would all go back into the show. We've also got some merch available on Etsy. So just search for Festpod and go for your life there. So let's begin with the festival news. Now, some Download Festival news. First of all, we have some new RIP Accommodation. There just seems to be new RIP Accommodation every time I switch on my computer or my phone. But we have something called the Tipi Lodge and the Night Owl, which has been announced. The RIP Accommodation, when they announce these new things, it tends to be things with the roof. Like we saw in the last episode that they had, or one of the previous episodes, that they've got like shed type offerings. They've got luxury suites. This one looks like it looks like it's got an indoor like a kitchen, a proper like a kitchen. It's in the picture that I'm looking at, which is the Night Owl for two en suite, one double. It's beautiful. It's got a wooden side there with some teal, I'm calling it, cupboards underneath, proper taps. I assume there's power in there with a kettle and stuff like that, and it looks beautiful. However, have you seen the price?
I haven't.
Yeah,
I'm going to guess $1,000 per person.
No, I think you're wildly underestimating how much this is worth, Damon.
I've got it in front of me here. I think, it's £2,335 each.
No, it's £4,670 each.
Hang on. Right, hang on. That says for two there, does it not? Does it say per person, or is that for two?
Well, it says each there. Look.
Right, hang on a fucking minute.
Let's have a look.
Oh, come on now, lads. Come on now.
Are you looking at this, Eamon? Have you got it?
I've got something up.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll deal with that later. But we're talking about the
Ticketmaster. Come on, have a look at the price first, Eamon.
I've got two. I've got the Tipi Lodge.
Yes,
which is 3,670 for two. But then the Night Owl. The Night Owl is £4,670 each. Oh my god!
So that would buy you perhaps a Ford Fiesta. Or what could that buy you instead of?
I tell you what, if I sold my car, I got that much, I'd be well happy.
What I know, especially because yours is a bit dodgy, isn't it?
No, that's my old car. This one's not. Well,
have you got a new car?
No.
Hell.
The Fiesta, I fixed it. It needed a new battery. It's fixed.
What was it? Double A's.
Yes, it.
So you've got options. If you've got a few grand just burning a hole in your pocket, you've got the Night Owl there. You've also got the Tipi Lodge, which looks again, that's a Tipi Lodge for two en suite with one double bed. It's actually a wooden bed with what looks like a mattress and a chandelier at the top. Is that a bathroom that I'm looking at there?
It's a full bathroom.
That you,
Showers,
I mean, if that was in your house or in a flat, you'd be quite pleased with that, wouldn't you?
I'd be well chuffed.
But to have that in sort of it looked like a TP sort of type tent.
So it must be massive.
Canvas tent. Yeah.
Yeah. Must be sort of attached to it at the back.
Yeah, like an extension.
Yeah.
And that is £3,670, which is a bargain.
Is it?
I mean,
it's something. I suppose if you've got the money, is it a bargain? It's a bargain, I guess. I mean, you think your tickets, what, 350 quid this year? A normal RIP ticket's 600 quid.
Yeah.
And you still got to bring your own tent.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I guess when you think about it, but I'm certain some of the hotel packages are cheaper.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd much rather stay in a hotel.
Yeah. Certain some of them are cheaper, so just do that if you want that much luxury.
Do you know what? There's a Hilton that's down the road at the airport.
We've stayed at that Hilton, though.
We have stayed at that Hilton.
I wasn't impressed.
Oh, you weren't impressed with it?
Not really.
Got very high
seemed like
standards, Lee.
Clearly. No, having said that, I preferred the Travelodge, but...
Did you? Okay, I can't. Do you know what? I can't remember because we always get absolutely fucking shit-faced the night before, and I have no recollection of this whatsoever. It all just runs into one.
It's the way it should be.
Yes. That's what we do, though, isn't it? You know, actually, this 22, we didn't do that because we went into Donington and it was fucking deserted. It was like a ghost town.
Which was so weird. Because obviously we usually do the Tuesday night in Castle Donington, and we've done it for a good few years now. And yeah, I said it was a ghost town. It was so weird. I don't understand why it was so deserted as the way it was. Because usually it's absolutely rammed.
I can't remember. Did we actually see any other downloaders out when we were out?
There was a few, but none that we sort of really interacted with, I don't think. I can't remember. Honestly, I don't really remember that well.
All I remember is your blue hair.
Ah, yes.
That blue hair.
Yes. Those are the days.
Yes. It's not a regular thing, is it? You don't really do that with your hair very often, do you?
No, it was. Do you know what? It was a sort of a fuck it. I've got my ears pierced. I'm gonna dye my hair. I really have a midlife crisis at download. So yeah.
If you're 32 and having a midlife crisis, then what chance has the rest of us got?
I'm 33 now. My birthday was this week.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
actually, that's a point. Yeah, that's a point. Neil, you're old as fuck at 40. Eamon, how old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh,
Yeah.
Neil, you're well old.
See, you say this every episode, but you'll be catching up to me fairly soon. So, watch your language, young man.
There'll always be a 7-year gap between us.
I'm not having a midlife crisis, but you are. With your blue hair and your earring. You'll be getting a tattoo next.
Yeah, what's your point?
The Envisions logo on his chest.
Yes.
What
On his
this?
balls.
That'd be that hurt, wouldn't it?
That would.
Oh,
Okay, so I take it you won't be booking the Tipi Lodge or the Night Flop, whatever it's called, the Night Owl.
No, I'm happy my moist tent.
did you say night flop?
I did say Night Flop, yes.
Flop.
Bloodstock is asking for fans' opinions on wristbands because they've said that the wristband is scratching against people's skin after several days' wear. I have noticed that kind of thing before. It's not something that I've ever really given a toss about. I mean, not enough to.
So Vicky posted this video comparing them. So you've got the fabric ones where the design is woven, and that's what makes everything itchy. And then you've got these printed ones, which are kind of like the slippy wristbands, and they're kind of less durable as well. So I don't really care. I think I put a vote on there for fabric woven, like I'm some kind of god. But
Yeah.
I think I like stitched in designs and woven designs. I don't like printed designs. Printed ones just seem a bit boring.
Yeah, it's a cop out, innit?
Pretty much.
Get
Vicky,
your
if you're
waving
listening-
machine going.
Yeah. Get your sewing machine out and just get it in yourself.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Lee?
I can see where people's arguments have come from, because it's a little bit itchy and it can irritate, but it hasn't ever bothered me that much over the years.
No.
And they mentioned that the glitter, it could be like the glittery thread is what's making people itch.
Yes.
So I mean, if they could avoid that and just use maybe like a bright stitching, like white or baby blue or something like that, I don't know. No, it's never bothered me that much.
Do you know what really makes them itchy? Leaving them on your wrist for 72 years to look like some sort of elitist god.
Do you know what? Mine comes off the minute I get home, because it's been sat on your wrist for the last 5 days. Got sweat, mud, probably. And obviously you have a shower in that, but it doesn't really clean it, does it?
No, so I sometimes leave them on for the festival season.
Yeah.
So I can be a metal elitist when it matters. But my nan at Christmas doesn't care about my metal stamps. Do you know what I mean? So I just take them off. She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep them. I always keep them. I think I've got all of the ones that I've been to download with.
They're in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the fuck I think I'm going to do with them, but it's just nice to have, isn't it?
Exactly.
I did read, there was somebody on Facebook this week who was... I don't know whether it was a denim jacket or not, but it was something like, a t-shirt or a jacket or something. And he was cutting out the design from another t-shirt and put it on the back. It was a black jacket. Yes. That's what it was. My thought was, because he was talking about the wristbands, and my thought would be to sort of put them down the arm like that. I don't know whether that would look good or not. I don't know. It's hard to imagine, really.
I've seen people's battle jackets like that. Like some people have stitched the wristband on the bottom of a denim battle jacket as part of obviously all the patches and stuff. So it's like a frilly bottom to it or something. Or
God! Oh, I wouldn't like that.
No.
Or they've stitched them around the sort of
around the buttocks.
Around the buttocks, yeah, around the bottom part of the jacket.
I mean, there's issues here, right? Because a lot of festival goers who do that, they don't take their battle jacket off when they go to the toilet.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
And yeah,
gross.
I don't remember any brown Bloodstock wristbands.
Fucking hell,
yummy. There was a white one that could be dangerous.
Do you know what it'd be like? You know, have you ever been in the countryside and seen a sheep, and a sheep's behind with its tail covered with brown around the edges? And it'd be like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's a metal elitist sheep. That's what that is. That's
Metal
exactly what that
elitist
is.
sheep.
Yes, so I don't want to do that. Hellfest has announced 179 bands for the 2023 lineup, including some familiar headliners: Kiss, Iron Maiden, Slipknot, and Motley Crue. Have you bought your tickets yet?
I mean, I wish.
Yeah, I wish as well.
I'd love to get to a Hellfest. I mean, the Hellfest lineup this year has gotten a lot of flack because it's not a typical Hellfesty lineup. But when you look at it, it's insane. Like, as every Hellfest lineup is, because it's just mental. But it's gotten some flack because it's gotten Kiss, Motley Crue, and Iron Maiden as headliners, basically. is why it's gotten flack.
Yeah. So that's 4 bands, right? And you don't have to see 4 bands. The rest of the lineup is, I mean, there's so many bands. It's incredible. I mean, just take a look at I'm not going to read all of them out because I'd be here all day. That would be the podcast. But there's so many, and they've listed them in alphabetical order on Loudwire. And there's so many here. Who's catching your eye there?
For me, Behemoth, Electric Callboy,
Yes.
Meshuggah, Architects, Lorna Shore, just to name 5. I'd be happy just seeing them for the whole weekend. But yeah, like to me, it is a typical Hellfest lineup. There's so many bands, and it's going to be like Clash Central. There's so many bands that will clash that you want to see. I don't understand why people are giving it any flack. I don't understand why people give Hellfest any flack at all. It's an amazing lineup every year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hellfest are going through their kind of download festival phase in the sense that download was a primitive metal. It wasn't a metal festival, but that's what it had the image of. And it's only now, really, where the people like looking at the Hellfest lineup. You've got Machine Gun Kelly on there. Machine Gun Kelly would have been nowhere near, and even Electric Callboy, and probably bands like Papa Roach and Hollywood Vampires to a degree would have been nowhere near a Hellfest lineup 7 years ago. But it's an outstanding lineup, and I'd love to get across it because when you think you can watch all of Main Stage 1 and all of Main Stage 2, like those stages don't clash; they're next to each other. So you could literally have a run of like In Flames, Architects, Coed in Cambria, Hollywood Vampires, Parkway Drive, Architects, Kiss, whatever the running order is. And that's just an outstanding day. Like, I mean, the one band I don't like seeing on there is Pantera, but we won't cross that bridge.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot on there that you would like to see. I mean, I don't know how much a ticket is, but whatever it is, I'd say it was good value. You know, I'd say it was, plus a trip to France. That's quite an adventure, isn't it, that? That's a nice week away.
I think you can book. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I think you can book flights and stuff included in your ticket to get there, but I don't think you can. I'm lying. I'm lying for
what you can do. You can't necessarily book flights with them, but there's loads of coach packages where you get your ticket and a coach trip from like as high as Edinburgh in the country, in the UK. So there's coach trips that run from the UK through to Hellfest and back, which is mental. But the cost of a ticket, I'm fairly certain it's still cheaper than a download ticket.
Oh my god!
It's a 60,000 capacity festival, is it not? Downloads obviously up to about 110, 120,000. I think Hellfest is only about 60,000. I was really shocked when I found that out.
Yeah, it might even be less. I know it wasn't.
I mean,
yeah, 60,000.
Is this over 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days.
I mean, I don't know how they've managed to fit in all these bands.
I mean, I think what they've done is, if you remember last year, they had the 2 Hellfest lineups. Like, they had 2 Hellfests. They had the 2021 lineup in 2022 and a whole new 2022 lineup. They had 2 weekends. I think what they've done this year is just booked all the other bands that didn't play last year, because there wasn't many bands left to book. In all honesty, when you looked at last year's lineups, it is insane. But it's a festival I want to get to, and yeah, I just want to get there. Maybe
I'm surprised you haven't done this one yet, Eamon, actually.
Me too. I've done like Varken and a couple of other festivals abroad. But
you call it Varken?
Varken, because I'm a metal elitist and that's what the locals call it. But yeah, I've done Wacken.
Yeah.
Brits say. I've done Wacken Festival, yeah, and it's dead good, dead sick.
Yeah.
But I always avoided Hellfest because the reason why is because it's so close to download. And that's why I've never gotten out there. Like, it's literally the weekend after, weekend before, or whatever those dates are, 15th to 18th of June. It's always so close, it's just unaffordable.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, either way, one of those festivals that you go to, you're going to be hungover to fuck and not being able to cope with another festival.
Yeah, that too. Definitely that. That's a factor.
Yeah.
Especially at the ripe old age of 21. It's definitely a factor.
I mean, I would love to go, but it looks like, but you know, it's a long way away, and it looks like a lot of organising, to be honest. Maybe this will happen, but I can't see it myself. But it looks great. It looks really good. Techfest has announced their first wave of bands, including Suffication, Chelsea Grin, Born of Osiris, Loathe, Aborted, The 500, and many more. Many more. Techfest is this one you go to?
It's one I want to go to, and it's not far away from me. And they always have great lineups. And they also do a lot of staggering of stages, so you can see pretty much every band that plays, usually. And it's £70, and Chelsea Grin headlining will be great. Aborted will be great, and the 500 are a fantastic band. So far, it's mildly tempting me.
Mildly.
Yeah, maybe I'll make it. It'll be a close to the time decision, I think, unless they pull something incredible out of the bag in the next announcement as well. But it's up there.
Newark Showground. I'm always at a loss to think where Newark actually is. It's in Lincolnshire, is that right?
That's the one, yeah.
Still don't really know where that is. It's somewhere sort of east ways, sort of northeast type direction.
Yes.
Yes. I won't even ask Lee whether he's going, because he's not going, because it's up north. It's up north.
Again, it's one of those ones that I'd be tempted for a day ticket. Because I've always wanted to go to Techfest. Again, it's that long list of festivals that I'd love to go to. Time, money, all factors. Unfortunately, that
you wouldn't get a day ticket for Techfest, though, would you? It's miles.
Well, I mean, download's pretty far away too. In fairness, wow, 2 hours.
Okay, well, you do what you want.
I bloody will.
Rock am Ring has announced a second wave of bands, including Limp Bizkit, BMTH, Big Mighty Testicle Hangers, and Kings of Leon. Let's have a look at the... Sorry, I'm just enjoying myself now. Do you know what it is? This coffee's kicked in.
Oh, no.
I stuck the abbreviation in, thinking you'd know who it is. You do know who it is, don't you?
Bring Me the Horizon!
Fuck for that. Yeah,
my coffee's kicked in. So this is going to be the rest of the show, I'm afraid. Yeah, yes, we're all in danger now. Let me try and get this bloody thing up on the screen.
You get it up, and I've just noticed a band on the lineup. Called Bounty and Cocoa. And I've never heard of them, but now I want to. And
Bounty?
Really
Bounty, and I would say Bounty and Cocoa.
Bounty and Cocoa.
Like a cocoa bean.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying Cocoa.
I don't know. That's how it's spelled.
Yeah, true.
I've never heard. We don't know who. Shall we have a look and who they are. Who the hell is Bounty and Cocoa? Let's get a load of websites up about chocolate. Let's have a look and check them out.
Are they a rap act?
Really?
I don't know.
Wow. And they've been booked for Rock Am Ring.
I mean, Rock Am Ring is kind of... I consider it an old school kind of Leeds and Reading type vibe. Rock Am Ring. They either go between
really?
like heavy
hip-hop.
to what's popular. Yeah, Germany. Oh my god.
Did you say German hip hop?
That's what it says on Google about genre, German hip hop.
I've just gone on to
Wow.
Spotify, and they've got a song called "Honeys I'm Club." And
Have they?
Crispy. Ghostis. Ram Pam Pam. They could be good songs. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, do you think they'll go down next to Kings of Leon and Bring Me the Horizon and Machine Gun Kelly, the Architects?
I mean,
who knows?
Machine Gun Kelly, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's quite a varied lineup, really. I mean, it might not be every Pantera's fan cup of tea, but you know, it's an interesting one in the Rock Am Ring lineup because it's the one lineup where a lot of festival maths come into play for download because of how close it is.
Oh yes, yes.
So when you look at it, we're sharing a few bands already on there. Not as many as usual, but we are sharing some. Bring Me the Horizon, Architects, for example, just off the top of my head. But Machine Gun Kelly doing the rounds of all these festivals. Are we going to get Machine Gun Kelly at download? Oh, maybe.
I hope we do, just because of the shitstorm that will come.
Oh yes.
So many people they will lose. You're going to have two sets of people that will lose their mind in a positive sense and a negative sense. Negatively, you'll get the elitists fucking bitching and whinging as usual, but then you'll get another half of the other side of the coin where people will go nuts for him because there's a lot of, I use the term kids loosely, there's a lot of kids that fucking love him.
Yeah.
I think he's great. So I mean, it could go down. If he does turn up, it could go down really, really well.
I mean, yeah, you put him on the the same lineup as they've got on Sunday. Bring Me the Horizon, Machine Gun Kelly, Architects. I think he'll shift a lot of day tickets as well. And that'd be
Who was it that was controversial at download a few years ago? I can't remember now, but there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't like him."
I mean, Machine Gun Kelly has played download, but yeah, Diane Wood was probably the most recent.
Oh, there you go. That's who I'm thinking of.
Machine Gun Kelly has played download before on the second stage, and I watched a bit of the set, and yeah, it was decent. But since then, he's exploded into this massive star, and he's also released his attempt at a pop punk album as well. So I think that's why he's getting a lot of hate at the minute. But hey, he's a big act. I say, bring him. Why not?
Bring him on.
Bring him on. But yeah, the rest of that lineup it's a pretty standard Rock Am Ring lineup, but there's a lot of bands in the rounds there, like Papa Roach. Are we finally going to get them back at download? They've not been at download for what feels like maybe nearly 10 years. I don't know when they last played download, but it's been a long time, longer than you'd think. But yeah, it's a good lineup, and Rock Am Ring again, another festival I'd love to go to.
Would you spend your own money on a ticket?
Yes, I would, especially for this lineup, because seeing Rise Against in Europe, where they're massive, in that big slot that they've got, would be pretty special.
Everybody wants to see that big slot.
I do want Rise Against big slot.
Moving on. Now, I think we were talking about this not too long ago. Linkin Park, in an email to fans, has announced that they're planning exciting things for 2023, holding off their annual LP Underground fan club renewal until then. Now, what exciting things?
So it's one of two things, isn't it? It's just they're redoing the fan club, and they're going to give the fan club something special, or it's exciting things to do with the band, which is why they're holding off doing the fan club. Because this is very much a Linkin Park Underground update, which is their fan club. So
right.
It's hard to tell what it's referring to, because it's talking about the LPU offerings, but is it a kind of hint at the band? It's a hard one. She said.
It says here on the website, with the unexpected passing of Chester, the band has not released a new LPU CD since November 2016, but has continued giving the LPU access to exclusive merch. So it's a fan club thing, isn't it, rather than an actual Linkin Park thing, really?
Yeah, I was a member of his fan club years ago, probably when it first kind of started out, and you would get a CD like that poster on their forum said. You'd get like a some exclusive live footage, some like unreleased demos and all that kind of stuff on the CD, which is cool, and you get a T-shirt and other fan clubby stuff. So maybe they've just realised that they've got nothing to give the fan club because obviously they've done nothing, so they've got to change the offering, or maybe there is more exciting things coming, which I think there will be at some point. But
yeah. Oh, God, I just want things to happen. I just want some movement. But I know, you can't push this sort of thing, can you? Because it's very sensitive still to everybody involved.
Exactly, and it's Chester. It was a unique voice. You can't just... It's so hard to replace. It's not like it's, for lack of a better term, a standard rock singer, because he wasn't. He was a very unique voice, so how do you change that?
Yeah. And to be honest, I doubt that they're in any hurry to do anything either.
No, I doubt it. I mean, why would you be? Like, you want things to happen naturally or something like this. You want it to feel right for everyone. If you just press yourself into getting into a rehearsal studio with a bunch of other blokes trying to be Chester, then...
Oh, God, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's going to be awful, isn't it? You're going to have that concert memory, so... I'm sure when they're all happy to do something, I'll do it, but... It's.
I'm just impatient.
Same.
Because we've got all those original concerts that happened, all those CDs that we bought, and we're just keen for more. Anyway.
Yeah, pull your finger out, Linkin Park. What's the issue?
Yeah, for God's sake.
Jesus.
Your finger out your ass. Talking about bands who've lost a member.
Oh, yeah.
The Foo Fighters have announced their first show since confirming they will continue without Taylor Hawkins. Now, this is quite significant. They're going to be headlining Festival, the Boston Calling Festival in America, not in Lincolnshire, Boston, Lincolnshire, which would have been amazing. Can you imagine?
That would have been a snag, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Paramore and Foo Fighters. Jesus Christ.
So it's that's tickled me, that.
He's gone. Hello, Boston. We're the Foo Fighters.
This is our first gig back. But I want to know who's going to sit in on drums. I mean, what's the plan? It doesn't say. No,
there's lots of options, isn't it? I mean, this is a very different scenario to losing a singer like Chester.
Yes.
I mean, Taylor was probably more the Foo Fighters for me than Dave Grohl is, but he was just a drummer. In loose terms, he was an incredible drummer, but you could replace someone who bangs with drums easier than you can replace a singer. Obviously not emotionally, but physically you can. But yeah, who's going to take the hot seat? Because it's a big seat to fill.
What do you reckon, Lee?
I'm trying to think of who, like you said, like who could take his place. I honestly couldn't put my finger on one particular drummer because, like you said, it's a big seat to fill. They are massive. They are huge, and yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other. Sorry, gone completely blank. I'm trying to think of other drummers that would be able to fill that slot.
The one that's done the round is Rufus Taylor, Roger Taylor's son, who obviously played at the tribute shows.
The tribute,
yeah. And he's really high up the list in who people want, alongside Taylor's son, of course, who also played at the tribute shows. I think they're the two that people want.
He was great though.
Yeah.
He was so good. And not in a sort of patronising, oh, well done sort of way. It was actually fucking amazing,
Yeah.
What I have noticed, though, at Boston Calling Festival is that Alanis Morissette will be playing the same lineup as the Foo Fighters, who actually shared the same drummer.
Yeah. They did.
Which is, I don't know, that's, wow, that's, I wonder if they've ever met each other and whatever.
I'd imagine they probably have. Dave Grohl's met everyone.
Oh, that's very true, actually, yes.
Right.
So if you're planning on going to Boston Calling, just in case, because we do have some people listening in America, Paramore is also playing Queens of the Stone Age, Yeahs, the Lumineers, Alanis Morissette with The National, The Flaming Lips, and King Gizzard, and the Lizard Wizard, amongst the other names confirmed so far. It's quite a nice lineup, actually. I would, if I was anywhere near, I think I would turn up to this.
I like
Foo Fighters headlining a festival. Oh yes,
yeah, straight back at it.
Memorial Day weekend. What's Memorial Day? Do we know?
The day when memorials happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Nice to see them back, though. Whoever sits in that drummer's seat, it'll be amazing to see them back.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
UK concert goers, I'm talking about you, think ticket prices are too high, so they have stopped going. Now, do you agree with this?
Yes and no. Obviously, it's your choice to spend your money on obviously who you want to see, and I get that. But I mean, you could spend £100 to see Metallica at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester, or you could spend £25, if not less, to go and see Envisions at the Black Heart in Camden. It's a.
This sounds like a decision you've made, Lee.
Of course it is. Of course it is. No, it depends on the band you want to see. Because, I mean, I made a choice in summer of 2022 that I wasn't going to go and see Placebo at Brixton because a £55 a ticket at Brixton, and I didn't think it was. I don't think £55 was worth the Brixton Academy. So I love Placebo, and I made the choice purely on I can't afford to spend £55 on a venue like Brixton, knowing their beers are going to be about £6-7 a pop. Getting in and out of London, it didn't seem feasible to me financially. Whereas a band like Envisions, again, £25, 20 quid. Again, getting in and out of London itself is about 30 quid as it is. Yeah, I think it depends on the bands you want to see, but yeah, generally speaking, some bands are expensive, but I suppose that's just life now these days, I suppose.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I completely agree. It's about who you choose to see, but I think Lee you made a good point when you said you made that choice purely on money. If Placebo ticket was 30 quid, you might have been tempted. But I think the problem is it's a mixture between the Spotify era and bands not making any money at all off music anymore. And the fact that, especially post-COVID, in a post-COVID world, tickets were high anyway before COVID, but the costs of touring are extensive now. And there's more insurance because of COVID as well that bands have to take out. And there's, especially in the UK now, there's more visas and more. A band from England, for instance, can't just get in a van and go to France and Germany anymore. There's so many more bits of paperwork and red tape, and that's the same everywhere. But it's expensive. Like, I never thought I'd see Blink 182 tickets came out, and I looked at them and bought some, and they were 80 quid for a standing ticket, or if not more. And I said, "Oh, that's quite reasonable." And I said that in my head, and that's mad. And
yeah,
it's I think it's right. I think it is going to price people out, and maybe we'll see gig tickets come down because a lot of bands have started doing smaller tours as well. I've noticed there's a lot more academy-sized tours. Bands aren't taking their arena setups out anymore. Bands that could easily do arenas. You know, your bands that... Like the last Alter Bridge tour and Ghost tour, for instance, they didn't fill these arenas. But you get less of those type of tours. Like Enter Shikari are a prime example. They could do arenas. They'd only half fill them, but that costs 10 times more than what it did 10 years ago. So they just do academies. And... yeah, I think it's pricing people out, really, and it can't be helped. I think they're justified, but things like Ticketmaster surge pricing can just absolutely fuck off.
Yeah.
Because like, I avoid... the only thing I use Ticketmaster for now is download, because you have no other choice. Download RIP. You have no other choice but to use it. And I avoid it like the plague, because it's absolute bullshit. And that is something that can fuck off. I think high ticket prices are bad, but surge pricing can strongly go away.
Yeah, I think you're right, you know, because artists aren't making the money from streaming, so they've got to make it back on tour, or, you know, it's. But then you've got bands who I mean, I've been reading about bands who complain about the fact that their merchandise is being skimmed off the top by the actual venue.
Yeah.
The venues are actually taking a percentage, quite an unreasonably high percentage, off the top of any merch sales, which they've had nothing to do with the manufacture of. They've got nothing to do with the band. It just happens to be the place where they're selling the merch. And I think that's a piss take.
Yeah.
And so that would also contribute to higher merch prices, potentially. I mean, is it because they were all closed in 2020?
I don't know, but I saw something recently on the merch stuff where... I can't remember what tour it was, maybe the Shinedown tour. And the venue actually dictated the merch prices for the standard items of T-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve shirts. And it meant that the support band... so obviously Shinedown's top, so it might not be Shinedown, I'm just using their name, but the headliner's band would be, you know, 50 quid for a hoodie, let's say. And normally your support acts would have a lower price, but the venue dictated that hoodies couldn't be sold for less than 50 quid. So the hoodies for the support band would also be 50 quid. And, of course, that's going to fucking hurt them like hell.
Yeah, of course it is.
So, yeah.
Because if you want a hoodie from both bands, if you want the support and the main act, that's 100 quid for two hoodies.
It's unfeasible. Venues have a lot to do with this as well, especially at kind of academy and grassroots levels, because it's not the first time I've heard of venues skimming the tops of merch and percentages of merch. And I get it, they're providing a table and maybe a member of staff sometimes, but no. Like, I mean,
Lee, didn't you buy some merch from literally people in the band? You did, didn't you? They sell their own merch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is an added bonus as well. I think when you
you get to
band
meet
members.
them.
Yeah, you've met the band members. They get to pass you on the merch as well. I don't understand why these venues are taking any cut whatsoever. If it wasn't for these bands that are coming into their venues, they wouldn't. Some of them wouldn't be able to open. I mean, they wouldn't be getting in the revenue from like drinks and stuff, and potentially food. And I think it's so cheeky to be taking, again, a cut of the band's money. I love getting a tour top. Don't get me wrong, a tour t-shirt with obviously all the list of dates and stuff on the back. But again, I started going directly to the bands and buying them online from the band's merch store, because then at least then you know the band will get 100%, or if not a massive percentage of the money that you're spending on that piece of merchandise. I think it's so cheeky. It's not fair, and something does need to be done about it, because some venues are just taking the piss.
Yeah,
I love merch, and I'm always up for getting more stuff to put in my cupboard.
Not to wear, just to look good inside.
I mean, I do wear it, but just not you can't wear it all the time, can you?
No, you can't.
It makes me think twice about picking any merch up from any of these gigs, because you're wondering how much is the band actually getting, and it makes me want to go directly, like you say, Lee, to the band, to the website of the band, or to wherever, to get the official merch, because I don't want to. I mean, as much as we need venues, I think it's a real piss take. It's quite insulting, to be honest, to have them skimming off the top for something they've had fuck all to do with. I'd be really pissed off, and I can understand the bands who are.
I'd love to see the numbers behind it all. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the venue doesn't make as much money as we think off ticket sales and off beer sales, but you'd think at a sold-out Brixton Academy, the bar sales alone, let alone any cloakroom costs or whatever, would cover the staff. But I don't fully know how it all works nowadays. Who hires the venue, who books the bands, what the promoters get, what the band gets. But it'd be interesting to see a split.
Yes. Keen on seeing those splits. The actual article on Metal Injection has quoted Ultimate Guitar for the study, which says that more than half of UK's music fans have missed at least one show in the last 5 years due to prohibitive ticket prices. I think that goes. I can understand that one, because I've turned down going to shows that are too expensive. You just think, you're taking the piss. 18% of the surveyed population claimed that they'd been regularly priced out of live shows, whilst 44% thinks that going to concerts became in general very expensive. It says, when questioned about a fair price for a concert ticket, around half of concert goers answered around $50, but the overall majority admitted to paying more than double that. The poll also addressed Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing models, with 71% of the surveyed population being against the concept. So more, I'd say mirroring what we say, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. I'm trying to think. I was looking at Metallica tickets some years ago. Well, when they did that tour years ago, I can't fucking remember what year it was. And it's just so expensive. But even the tour that they're doing, they're about to go on, that's really expensive, isn't it? I mean, what have you paid, Demon?
So, I mean, I've paid in the past. So, the first time I saw Metallica outside of the festival, my ticket was, I think, 45 or 50 quid for a standing ticket at Birmingham Arena. Yeah, and that wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was quite a while ago. It was probably 2000 and... Actually, no, I tell a lie. It was 2008 or 2007. It was at Wembley Stadium, and yeah, it was 50 quid for a Metallica headline set.
Pretty decent.
And you had Metallica... I don't know if Machine Head ever played, but the lineup was like Metallica, Bullet for My Valentine, Him... I can't remember if Machine Head actually played. I think Machine Head did play. I can't remember. But yeah, that was 50 quid for a standing ticket at Wembley Stadium. The last time I bought a Metallica ticket was for the Etihad Stadium, and it was 120 quid, I think, for a ticket. And don't get me wrong.
Seated?
Fucking
standing?
That was seated, yeah. And don't get me wrong, it was incredible, and I'd pay it again, stupidly. And like this tour they're doing in Europe, the tickets are around about 100 quid for a single day, but obviously they're doing for 2 days, and you can only get 2-day tickets. So, bringing it back around to Download Festival, if a Download day ticket this year is 100 quid, and you want to see Metallica, it's a fucking bargain. Because you're going to get all those bands as well. Because, Parkway Drive's a 50, 60 quid band in an arena now. And, arena gigs alone are at least 50 quid.
Yeah.
And... it makes things like day tickets at Download become very, very, very good value. They were anyway, but even more so nowadays.
Yeah. That's something that you tend to forget, I think, about the value of going to a festival. Whilst you may not see every band, you may see very few bands. But the fact of how many bands are actually playing in one day on however many stages, you could get, and how much would they charge individually for gigs?
Exactly, yeah. Even if you saw a bunch of bands that would cost 20 quid, you could soon rack up to 100 quid for a day ticket. Like 5 bands and you're nearly there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's easy.
Limp Bizkit Break Stuff ballad cover. Right,
have you listened to it?
No, because it was in the script as a very strange sentence. So I just want to put it into English, just so that I'll read the headline here, so that people can understand what the fucking headline is. Someone's brilliantly reimagined Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff as an emotional piano ballad. And it's officially Fred Durst approved, according to Metal Hammer. Now, it says this isn't the first thing that I would think of when covering Break Stuff, an emotional piano ballad. I wouldn't get the piano out and start tinkling on the ivories.
I mean, it's my karaoke go-to, and I've never done a ballad. Oh,
I'd love to see that. To be honest, I'd love to see you smash out Break Stuff as a karaoke.
Well, when you were all watching Iron Maiden at Download this year, I was doing karaoke in the RIP bar, and I did Break Stuff. You missed your chance.
Oh, I wasn't watching Iron Maiden. I was asleep.
When you were asleep, like 10 meters away from that bar. There is versions on YouTube as well. That's all I'll say.
Lee, was that the day that you got really drunk?
It was.
Okay,
that was the day I got really drunk as well, because I had a nap prior because I fell asleep during Bleed From Within set. Stood up.
Do you know,
I was an absolute write-off. I went to the arena so fucking drunk. So I can't. I've got to go back and just at least try and sleep off for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Missed the entire fucking day. Caught a glimpse of Funeral for a Friend. Watched Deftones, and then once Deftones finished, I thought I'm hungover. Not like a regular hangover. You wake up in the morning and you feel like shit. Like this was like in the evening. I feel like shit. I've got to go to bed. But it was a hangover. It was a dehydration hangover, and I couldn't watch Iron Maiden, nor your amazing set of your karaoke Break Stuff. Unfortunately,
that same day, I remember I got 2 pints from the bar, and I went to see Bleed From Within, and I was like, this is going to be great. I'm stood in a tent with my mate James. He's having a great time. Bleed From Within come on stage, and I remember standing there with 2 pints in my hand, a very full tent. Bleed From Within going fucking incredibly riotous. And I remember being asleep and my eyes closed, stood up. And after Bleed From Within finished, which I just about survived through, I turned around to James and went, I'm done. And then I went and had a nap and woke up just before Iron Maiden started, had some food, and then went and did karaoke. It was great.
Oh my god! Wow,
it was great.
Lee, I know you wanted to see Iron Maiden as well, but how much did you want to see them? Were you really bothered to see them or not?
I want to see them before they eventually retire, because I mean they're old fellas now, and they're going to retire soon, surely. I'd like to see them before they retire. Maybe if they do another download, then maybe, but.
I think it's given that they're going to do another download. I mean, I can't. I'm not Mystic Meg, but I predict that they're going to do another download.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be. It's hot. It's difficult because, yeah, they're a band that I really want to see. I've missed my opportunity twice now to see them. Am I really that arsed? I don't know. Probably not.
Is it a box ticking thing? You just want to say that you've seen them?
I think so. It was the same with Kiss. I mean, Kiss was literally just a box ticking event, and I saw part of their set. Yeah. I saw when Gene Simmons did his whole demon change, and I thought, you know what? I was probably better off not watching this.
Well, I mean, despite that, well, I mean,
it's just pensioners in drag. That's what Kiss are.
When Aerosmith were on, I'd never seen them. They were a massive band. Wanted to say I'd seen them. I mean, I've never fucking listened to them on my own time, and I never fucking would. Not really. I think they're all right, but I wouldn't, go. Oh, let's get Aerosmith on. Same goes with Iron Maiden. I'm not looking for them to listen to them or anything like that. There's a lot of bands like that, like Kiss. I'm never going to fucking listen to them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not for me. And I've not grown up with them. I'm not part of, they're not a part of my history of music. I'm just not fucking bothered. So I wouldn't, whilst it's nice to say, oh look, there's Kiss over there, and then, Iron Maiden. Who gives a fuck? You'd never listen to them normally. Why do you give a fuck?
No, I do agree with that. To be fair.
Anyway.
Rant over.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's sometimes I have to say these things out loud, to really get to what I really think, because I'm in this sort of trap of having to see these bands, these logo headliners, because they are popular and people like them, even though I'm not asked, and thinking, I must have to see them to tell people that I have seen them, but it's bullshit. I only want to see the bands that I like to listen to. That should be where that should be where the value comes from in going to see a festival like Download. You just go and see like you, Lee. You only see the bands that you want to see, because fuck the rest, because you might miss something that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I just thought of a great analogy actually. Like you ever bought a meal deal from Tesco or Sainsbury's or something like that, right?
Yes.
Hear me out.
Oh, God.
So, the value of your ticket, right, could be made more by, obviously, the experience of the band. So, for instance, those, like, fucking blueberry smoothie type things, the next smoothies that are worth more than the fucking meal deal itself.
Yes.
That would be your Metallica band, right? Because, again, your ticket to Metallica, like you said, is going to be over 100 quid. And I imagine a day ticket will be the same sort of price. So, your Metallica are your smoothie band. But then imagine you get like a fucking ham sandwich. You end up seeing some kind of, that could be your shit band you see middle of the day that you think, it's just not worth it. Like 90p sort of ham sandwich crap. I agree that earlier you said about, obviously, the value of the ticket. And I don't know, I was going to make a point. I kind of got off a bit of a tangent.
Do you know, I know, I sort of understand where you were headed, though. Yeah. I mean, because the thing is that I don't listen to Metallica either. So no matter what the cost of the ticket, the value of what I've paid for the festival comes in all these little bands, actually, that I would rather listen to. That I would go and see, that I do like to listen to. I don't ever... I mean, there's no disrespect to anybody who likes Metallica, but I don't reach for Metallica to press play on any of their stuff because they're not part of my music journey through metal. They're just not. And as much as I probably will go and see them because they're on fucking 2 days, it isn't something that I'm going there for. I'm not there to see Metallica, sort of thing.
I know I bang on about them a lot, though. Do you like Envisions, Neil?
Yeah, I've listened to some of their stuff, and I quite like them. I mean, I can see why you like them more than me, but yeah, they're okay. I'm not creaming my drawers like you are or anything, but I can appreciate.
I have never creamed my drawers to Envisions.
You've just licked their faces.
No, I haven't.
Why is the bottom of that flag really white?
There is a sensible explanation to that, and I'm not going to say it because it's not funny, like what's going through your mind. But it is what you think it is.
It's man love. So anyway, there's we got here through quite a circuitous route. We're actually talking about a ballad, believe it or not, of Break Stuff. So I think we should have a little listen.
Yes.
What if Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff was done as a ballad? Let's see what it sounds like. It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked, everybody sucks. You don't really know why. You want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. The best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he said, she says bullshit. I think you better quit, let the shit slip, or be leaving with a fat lip. It's all about the he said, she says bullshit. I think you better quit it, talking that shit, punk. So come and get it.
Oh.
Has it touched you?
That so come and get it was sexual. Oh. What are we going to get? It's changed the meaning entirely.
Yeah, the smoothness of that has completely changed to see what it once meant.
Yeah,
I like that. That was pretty good.
I like that a lot. I could chill to that in the bath.
Yeah, get some candles on the go, some scented candles. Beautiful.
Get in the bin, Celine Dion.
Yeah, in the bin. Now, Enter Shikari have announced a new album, a new single, and an album release. What? Have you written this, Eamon? Enter Shikari announced...
Yeah, quickly.
I'm going to read it as it's written. Enter Shikari announced new album, single, and album release.
There's no comma. There's no comma there.
So what
is a capital A?
What did you mean? What did you want to say?
I mean, fresh off the press, Ed Shikari have... Right, I'll do it in a sensible order. They've released a new single called Please Set Fire to Me.
Have they?
It's fantastic, first of all. It's a great song. They're releasing a new album in April, which is called A Kiss for the Whole World. And they're doing...
Oh, that's pleasant.
They're doing album release show residencies in London, Manchester, Wolverhampton, Bristol, and Glasgow. But these are like monthly, so they're doing in February, March, and April. They're playing those venues. They're small venues. Shikari love playing small venues. Each set's going to be different each time. Presumably, as we get more singles from the album, they'll probably play all the album live at some point across these shows, I imagine. And I would definitely be trying to go. They're sort of doing this... They're saying it's phase 2 of Shikari, is what Raoul's been sort of saying. And yeah, it's very exciting because I'm a big, big Shikari fan. As you can tell by the little shirt.
Now, Lee, are you telling me that you weren't aware of this?
No, well, obviously, I told you in the week, or I told you last week, I'm on a bit of a hiatus from all social media, and this is the one regret. I'm missing so much shit. No, I did not know this, and this is really exciting actually because I've just looked at the tour poster, and that part of the March tour, they're with As Everything Unfolds, and yes. I absolutely loved As Everything Unfolds at Download. Obviously saw them twice. 32 quid for a ticket. That's not bad actually. The London show, that's not actually that bad.
Yeah, ooh. So to get tickets, to get early access to tickets, you need to pre-order the album or be part of the Future Historians fan club. And they'll go on sale on the 19th, I think, for the pre-release. So I have the album pre-ordered. It's going to be very, very good. I'm very excited. The single has like a cross of old Shikari meets a new kind of era. Lots of guitar noise, which is nice.
17th is on a fucking Friday.
What exactly have you ordered as the single, album, whatever? Have you ordered a physical copy or vinyl or what?
So I've ordered a physical copy. They've got a whole bunch of stuff being Shikari. They like doing the whole big bundles. There's bundles with vinyls, bundles with t-shirts, jumpers. I've ordered, I think it's for 20 quid package, which is kind of like a free disc CD and DVD set.
Really?
You get the obviously the album, and I think you get the live at Alexandra Palace free DVD, which is from their last tour.
I was there. That was awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you in the video?
I doubt it. I'm at the back, propping up the bar.
Oh, right.
Oh, I'm cancelling my pre-order then. I only got it for the content. Fuck you, Reynolds. But yeah, what's really interesting, and here's some fan kind of... You know, you get these fan theories about things with bands and albums.
Yes.
So the album artwork is these little red flowers kind of dead in a forest. And obviously they're quite big climate enthusiasts and all that kind of stuff. And if you compare it to the Flash Flood of Colour album frontage, they've got their big red Shikari logo in lights in a forest, and it looks like this album's playing off the idea that humanity has destroyed the forest and the plants are dead, is what it looks like. And with them going into phase 2, maybe they've killed off that side of Shikari. Maybe that's the theory behind it as well. There's lots of fan theories because fans are weird. But
do you go on? Do they have a forum or some sort of club or something where you discuss all these rumours?
There's a Shikari fan Facebook group which has all the Shikari nerds in it. Nicest nerds going. All very friendly people, me included.
I'm sure as Enter Shikari fans, yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's a fan theory at the minute. I don't know if anyone's confirmed it, but it very much looks that way. It's the same colours, looks like the same forest. And it won't surprise me because Raoul's basically David Attenborough at this point.
He is, isn't he?
Like, he might as well be.
Did you enjoy them at the pilot, Eamon?
Yes. I've seen Shikari a whole bunch of, they're probably my most seen band. Like,
really?
I'm probably close, if I'm over 30 probably, maybe under 30 times, I don't know. I've been going to see them since 2004, 5, maybe.
When they first came out, then really,
yeah.
Because I remember hearing Sorry You're Not a Winner when I was when 2006, which is obviously a couple of years after obviously all all the demos started coming out. Yeah, I was actually dumbfounded there to think actually that's actually so cool. You actually saw them like way back when they were.
I saw them play the Comedy Tent at Leeds Festival. That was an experience.
Comedy Tent.
There was a load of comedians, and then there was it was on the Thursday night, and there was who was the other band? It might have been Sixth. No, it wasn't Sixth. It was it was a metal band. It might have been Sixth. And Shikari, they did a half-hour set. But yeah, I've seen them a whole bunch. But the pilot, going back to the actual question, how good was that? Like, after however long without live music, there's two acts for me, especially festival-wise, that epitomizes festivals and live music in the UK for me, and it's Frank Turner and Ed Shikari. No two acts epitomize festivals and live music. I don't think they're just two sets of passionate musicians, but Shikari absolutely destroyed that stage, and just blew me away. It's probably my favourite time I've seen Shikari. Maybe because of the whole not seeing anyone for ages, but I think it was just spectacular.
I mean, it was a very special festival, wasn't it? The whole thing at Pilot.
Yeah.
It was despite one or two things that Lee would complain about.
I mean, when do I not have something to complain about? I know. Let's be real. Come on. I've always got something to have a bitch about at Download Festival.
We've made a whole podcast about it.
Exactly.
But because of obviously you had lost your keys and tent.
I had a nightmare
issues.
that year. I had a nightmare that year. I really did. It was the worst thing as well. Is like you said, we hadn't had music, like live music or anything like that, for absolutely ages. And yeah, man, I came in and just totally unprepared for what was to happen. My tent was too big. I lost my keys.
But you know what? A lot of that shit it wasn't your fault because there wasn't enough space to camp.
I think that's what made it worse. When you say it wasn't my fault, I think that's what made it worse was the fact that I've come in so excited and so what I thought was prepared. Yeah. And then it see, again, I saw so many people with the same size tent that managed to pitch up.
And bigger, with gazebos next to it.
Oh, that wound me up. But,
Dickheads.
Yeah.
Hey, especially, I'm going to say this, those people who had a fucking gazebo and we said, oh no, they didn't have a gazebo. That's what it was. They had a big fucking space next to their tent. Oh, we went, oh, look, a space. And they went, oh no, we're going to put a gazebo up or we're waiting for some fucking people or something like that. And we were left without anywhere to camp. Dickheads.
Yeah. But Ed and Shikari were great.
And it's, yeah, no, do you know what? Really good show, actually. And it's not Shikari are not a band I have followed, but I really enjoy. I mean, it's a spectacular show, and they come across really well. You know, excellent, great booking for the pilot.
Fantastic booking for the pilot, and it was good to see him headline something as well, so they could see what they could do.
Who else headlined the pilot? It was
Frank Carter.
Frank Carter, yeah.
Yes.
And Bullet for My Valentine?
Yes.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, I didn't
Didn't
watch
stick around.
much of Bullet at all.
I
Not my thing.
ducked out about 12 o'clock Sunday. I ducked out about 12 o'clock Sunday just to get home.
I like Bullet,
As I do.
but I'd just seen Frank Turner, who, as I just say, I love Frank Turner, and he just epitomises live music for me.
Carter.
Like,
You keep
Frank
saying
Turner. Yeah, Turner. Frank Carter as well was great, but Frank Turner, who headlined the second stage just for Bullet, and
there you go.
he just epitomises live music for me. And it's just, I've seen him, and then I went across to Bullet, and I've loved Bullet since The Poison. They were one of my teenage kind of obsessions, and I've gone up and down and out of love with them. And I thought, you know what? It's Bullet for my Valentine, and we've not had music for ages. They're going to be great. They're going to put on a good show, because I've seen them put on some really good shows. They brought Pyro, they brought everything else, and I watched the first few songs, and I just thought they sounded wooden as fuck. I mean, I also know people that really enjoyed them, but I just didn't think they took the opportunity, or they didn't seem to relish being back. I mean, they probably did, but like Frank Carter came on stage, was fucking over the moon, ecstatic, energetic. Ralph Reynolds and Shikari come on stage. Every band that weekend came on stage with so much energy and passion and excitement about being back. And Bullet just seemed to be going through the motions somehow, even though they've not done the motions for 2 years at that point. So, yeah, it just felt a bit wooden.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't. I think I must have stopped for 3 songs, and I thought, you know what, I'm going home.
Yeah,
it didn't do anything. That did nothing for me. Did nothing for
absolutely.
me. And I had a great weekend up until then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's like I was in the mood for music, but they just didn't do anything that moved me at all, which is a shame. So
yeah, it is a shame.
But there it is. And lastly, we have an award ceremony on its way to us. We just can't avoid it. It happens every year. The Brit Awards is happening. It always happens in February. And I remember that because my birthday is in February. And I always notice it. I haven't watched the full Brit Awards for a very long time. I think the last time I watched it in full must have been 20 years ago. And it was
when
live.
ABBA were featured.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And well, I remember the Brit Awards. It used to be live. There used to be people showing their arses. There used to be people coming up and swearing before the watershed. It used to be fun. It used to be exciting. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I don't know I don't think it's live, or it's live with a delay. And it's not quite, maybe they stopped serving alcohol at the tables. Something like that. But it's not an exciting one. Or at least the last time I watched it, or a bit of it, it wasn't an exciting watch. And so I think I've abandoned it because I just thought, why am I spending 2 hours of my life watching boring shit? So let's go to the nominees.
The nominees are...
That said, the nominees, so they... slagging it off for 10 minutes and then talking about it like it's okay. See, we're only really mentioning it because they have a category which is of interest to us, the Best Rock Alternative Act. And the nominees are... I like this. It's like I'm on stage doing it. Oh. The 1975, Arctic Monkeys, Nova Twins...
Yes.
Tom Gren. I have to pause after each one for an applause like that. Oh, do you know what? I could even do it. What am I doing? They've still got an applause
You've got the
button.
Soundboard.
Oh my god. Oh
Yes,
my god.
we're
There we
gonna
go.
do it.
It's like we're actually there.
Yes! Right.
Oh my god.
Are you ready? Now, do you know we need to... there's some music underneath it, maybe? Should we have music underneath it as well? See, we're going to have to go the whole way. We can't just do it... We can't do a half job. We have to do... See, I don't know whether this would be appropriate or not. And the nominees are... For Best Rock and Alternative Act, the 1975... Arctic Monkeys. Nova Twins. Is it working, this? You feel like you're there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Grennan. And Wet Leg. Yeah, well, there you go. So, anticlimax. Can't give you the winner because we're not there. What do you reckon then? I mean, I don't consider them as being... I mean, I can see that they're alternative. But I just want really heavy stuff. I want really heavy rock that's in there. I don't think that really satisfies me, to be honest.
I've seen Nova Twins. Saw them download a few years ago, and I thought they were fantastic. There's so much energy and life in their performance. If I was going to vote, I'd have said Nova Twins 100% to win that. I mean, the Arctic Monkeys and 1975 are going to be the popular votes in that. But I think truly the only alternate act within that. I mean, I don't know Wet Leg, I don't know Tom Grennan, but the only alternate act that I can really see in that group of people is Nova Twins. So, I mean, yeah, they'd get my vote.
Yeah, I mean, they're all rock, I guess, but
yeah,
it's that. I suppose it's been really. When you look at some of the previous winners of this, you've had like The Darkness win it, but also
have you?
Franz? Yeah, also Franz. A very quick Google, I found 4 people that have won it, but also like Franz Ferdinand. I would assume Muse probably won it at some point, and maybe I don't know Coldplay or something at some point.
No,
maybe,
I think because you say this, I think this is the popular end. You know, the sort of more sort of commercial. That's probably a better way of putting it. More commercial aspect.
Personally, I wouldn't put the 1975 in there. No. Mainly because I fucking hate them.
Fair point.
No other reason. But Tom Grennan's pretty rocky. But like, I think Sam Fender won it last year. Looking at the thing I've got up here, it might not have done, but yeah.
What, Best Rock Alternative Act?
According to the know-it-all source Wikipedia.org, give them some credit where it's due. Sam Fender won it last year, with the nominations being Coldplay, Glass Animals, Tom Grennan and Wolf Alice. But I don't know. It's. I think even 1975 are probably going to take it because they seem to be huge this year. But yeah, it's
who actually vote? This isn't voted for by normal people, is it? This is an industry thing, isn't it? Brits.
Yeah, it's industry at this point, I believe. I don't know if there's a fan thing beforehand, but yeah, it's industry for the actual winners.
And how do we get? I guess the industry picks the nominees as well. Then,
presumably, I don't fully know.
I mean, it's years since I've even had a vague interest in the Brits, but that's the last I knew. As far as I know, it was the industry that picked the nominees and decided the winner. I just think I don't think it's a very adventurous group of nominees. I think that there are some people in the rock alternative category that are doing more interesting work than what we've got as a whole. I mean,
a band I'd have in there, for instance, if we're going down a popular end, even just for a nomination, would be a band called Seagirls. They've had a fucking phenomenal year. And if you don't know Seagirls, they're fucking fantastic. But they've had a phenomenal year, but they're kind of, they're that indie rock, that popular side of rock. And they're just getting bigger by the second, but they've not got a single nomination throughout the entire thing. And, I think they're going to be one of the biggest British bands in a few years.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess the awards are the type of thing just to get everybody talking, because nobody's going to agree necessarily with nominees or winners. Which, you know, I guess it's all about exposure for the acts, I suppose. I just think, but it's the Brits, isn't it? It's on ITV. It's not the kind of thing that you know, people who necessarily like Metallica will be looking at for any kind of, and it's not, you know, I'm very nearly 40 years old, so it's not particularly. I wouldn't say it was aimed at me either.
Yeah. I'd say it's probably named at your grandkids.
Fuck off. And I mean, let's be honest. There's no grandkids coming my way. Might be a pet dog. So I mean, you've got. Let's have a look at Artist of the Year. Who do we reckon out of? Oh Christ! I mean, forgive me if I'm saying your names wrong, but I've never heard of half of these. Central C, Fred again, and again.
Oh my God.
George Ezra, have heard of that. Harry Styles, heard of that. Stormzy, I've heard of that because he was on Radio 2 the other day, and I do listen to Radio 2 now and again.
Oh.
Yes.
I think out of that, it's got to be Harry Styles.
I think it has, and I know fuck all about pop music anymore.
I think I have to agree with you, Harry Styles.
George Ezra's had a new album. I don't know about Stormzy, but Harry Styles had a fucking belter of a year.
Yeah.
He has. Even I've noticed. Yeah, I mean, he's done some tunes and particularly some music videos that I have seen that I'm thinking, God, I would not have expected Harry Styles to have done that kind of thing. And he's like, he can actually sing.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, he's come from a boy band, and that, you know, it's debatable as to whether a lot of them can sing, to be honest, because, you know, that's the reason why they're in a boy band. But I was very impressed. You know, you can't know everybody though, can you? Album of the Year, what do we think? Nominated, you've got the 1975 Being Funny in a Foreign Language, Wet Leg with Wet Leg, Harry Styles with Harry's House, Stormzy with This Is What I Mean, and Fred again with Actual Life 3.
January 1st to September 9th, 2022.
Yeah, I didn't read that bit out, because there's no way that's the fucking title. What a stupid title.
That's got to be the title. That's got to be the title.
For MasterCard Album of the Year.
Is he some kind of prog rapper?
Do you know what? I mean, I've listened to a lot of music over the past year, and I could name some albums that I reckon would shit all over these, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's going to be Harry Styles, or maybe the 1975, but I think Harry's House was a huge album. Huge album.
Did Invisions have an album out this year?
Damn right they did. That one. Deadlock.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. I don't know why they're not part of the Brits. You know, it's silly. I don't understand why.
Do you really think you get confused about that? Not sure why they're not there.
You know, underrated, man. That's what I'm saying.
I know, with all the mentions they get on Festpod as well, you'd think they'd be number one.
I know exactly.
Do
you know what? Actually, tonight I actually tried my best not to mention them as much. I have failed big time.
Yeah, miserably.
I think, it's not going to happen, is it? You know,
I'm gonna. Thing is, for the next couple of podcasts,
you even spunked on their flag tonight.
Just there.
That sounds like a song title. That spunk on their flag.
Spunked on their flag. It sounds like a political song, doesn't it? I'm going to spunk on the flag or something stupid.
Yeah, that's got cunt and the gag written all over it.
Oh yes, exactly. So I mean, do you know what? I might watch, depending on whether I'm in or not, because they put it on an evening. I'm usually out, but I might have a look. It's just to, find out who's in the pop parade and what's popular, because I don't listen to any of this. I mean just
probably Fred again.
Again, as I drive around in my job, well, I've always got the radio on, and I couldn't tell you half of what I'm listening to, but you'd think I'd notice stuff that I liked that was on from the Brits. Ed Sheeran's there again, Song of the Year. Let's have a look at the Song of the Year. H and Asante. Cat Burns. Cat Burns.
Go. Cat Burns, go. It's like a Street Fighter move. Or a Pokemon.
Yeah, I know. Dave. Ed Sheeran and Elton John with Merry Christmas. Song of the Year. No,
I can't. I mean, I love Christmas songs. I really do. But I have to agree with a friend of mine at work. He says Christmas songs are shit because they're only popular one time a year. I agree with that to an extent. It shouldn't be Song of the Year, especially if it's for it's for a particular time of the year.
Eliza Rose and Interplanetary Criminal, BOTA, baddest of them all. Oh, that rings a bell. I might have heard that one.
No,
George Ezra, Green Green Grass. Harry Styles, As It Was. Lewis Capaldi, Forget Me. LF System, Afraid to Feel. Sam Smith and Kim Petras, Unholy. Some of these names are familiar, but I couldn't tell you what they sound like.
The only song I recognise out of that list is Sam Smith, Kim Petras, Unholy, but that's because that's fucking massive on TikTok, didn't it?
Oh, is it? Right, yes.
Only song on that list.
Everyone loves that in a minute, don't they? I bet that wins. I bet you anything.
I don't know.
Anything?
Without knowing what the rest of them sound like. Yeah.
Yeah. Open door.
Hey, so anyway, I mean, who knows? We're going to cover, to be honest, that's the Brit Awards. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the Heavy Music Awards in considerably more detail than that, because it's within our sort of, it's our sort of thing. So
as long as the 1975 aren't involved, I'm all good. Yeah. Harry Styles is welcome, but 1975, however.
Yeah, no, exactly. They can get put in. Sorry. Alrighty, so that is the festival news. Now let's talk about gigs in the guide. So what gigs or festivals are coming up in the next month or two? Let's have a look.
So I've got a couple that I'm hopefully going to be going to, because Stoke-on-Trent get very few good gigs, and we're getting 2 in the space of 3 days. And the first tour is the Holding Absence and Void of Vision tour, which I'm very excited about. So that's towards the end of the month. They're doing a whole bunch of dates, including Oxford.
Yeah, I was about to fucking dive in then.
If you can make it to the Holding Absence tour this time around, a lot of dates are sold out, but I think it'd be worth your while. But yeah, the second tour that I want to mention is the Frank Turner tour. So Frank Turner's touring with the Lottery Winners, who are also a fantastic band, doing, as Frank Turner does, a fucking load of dates, about 20 dates maybe across the UK. Yeah, if you've not seen Frank Turner, he just epitomises live music. But his tour starts on the 17th of January in Tunbridge Wells and goes all the way through to February. Well, 25th of February he's playing Nottingham. But yeah, the Lottery Winners are on the first leg of the tour, and they're another fantastic band who are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's gonna be a fun end of the month. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
We've got Sleep Token with North Lane supporting them on tour at the moment, and I shall be going to see them in Birmingham in a few days' time. But they are doing... I mean, they're always on tour, Sleep Token. They never seem to stop. But they are going to be in Bristol and London, following their sold-out show in Manchester on the 19th of January. So can't wait to see them. They're going to be amazing.
For all the punk fans, Dropkick Murphys. I've got a set of dates, middle of January, 16th in Newcastle, 18th in Manchester, 20th at Cardiff, 22nd in Birmingham. I don't see a London date, which is quite surprising, but there it is. Supporting them, Pennywise, the Rumjacks, and Jesse Ahern, so that's definitely going to be a big one.
Yeah. And finally, the Amity Affliction. Everyone Loves You Once You Leave Them. UK Tour 2023. They are on tour at the moment. Although, again, it's a very short tour. Birmingham on the 17th. After their Manchester and London gigs, they're out with Fit for a King, Gideon, and See You Space Cowboy. So hopefully there's something there that has tickled your fancy, and because very often it's a quiet month, January, but hopefully there's a few things there that you have noticed and you'd like to go and see. So next we'll get our Festpod Favourites. This is where we recommend something we've seen that we like. So we're going to start off this time with Lee Ellingham down in the south, sort of Oxfordy area. A little bit Bistery.
It's a bit Bistery in Oxford. Yeah.
It is down there, isn't it? A bit Bistery.
So as I mentioned earlier, I'm on a bit of a hiatus from a lot of social media. TikTok is one of the only ones that I've actually managed to stay on because there's a lot of funny shit on that. So and two particular TikTokers that I have seen recently. First one is Orion Reacts. This chap does basically he does loads of reaction videos towards a lot of deathcore and metalcore bands that have got the blah, and they do massive breakdowns, and he gives his reaction to them, and you can only react the same way he does to like really heavy breakdowns and that sort of music. Another TikToker, Matt Bevan. Again, he does a lot of reaction videos towards a lot of the metalcore and deathcore acts. He also does a lot of videos that are relatable to metalheads, sort of, for example, how metalheads are portrayed and how our music is portrayed by people that don't listen to it. And he puts a very good comedic spin on it. So my two recommendations, if you're on TikTok, go and follow _Orion Reacts and Matt Bevan. Matt Bevan is all one word.
How are you spelling Orion Reacts?
Orion Reacts is _ OHRIONREACTS.
And Matt Bevan.
Matt Bevan is...
Yeah, I'm not asking you to spell that because it's pretty...
Why not?
Because that's the way you would spell it.
I'm just showing you I know my ABCs. I know how to spell.
I know. Yes, all right. Eamon, what's your Festpod favourite?
Neil. My Festpod favourite this week is a shameless plug for my mate's band.
Really?
They're called Secret City Souls. They're a brand new band. They're a pop punk outfit from Stoke-on-Trent. They've just released their brand new first single ever. It's on YouTube, all your streaming platforms. It's called Safe and Sound. If you like your kind of old schooly pop punk, I can confirm it's very, very good. Are we
allowed to listen to a little bit of it?
Yeah, go for it.
And this is their first ever single.
This is their first ever single. They've played 2 gigs. I was at their first gig in Stoke. They've got a gig coming up in March in Stoke. But yeah, it's their first single.
Bloody hell, that's good.
Yeah, they've got a lot of potential ahead of them. And Connor's promised to give me 50 quid for every mention. So,
well, you've got to get your name out there somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Okay. And my Festpod favourite is Sleep Token have released a couple of tracks over 2 days. They released a track a day over 2 days. See, that was very complicated for me to say then. So on one day they released a track, and then on the next day they released a track, which was like, what? And they're great. I mean, like I say, I'm going to go and see them in a few days at Birmingham. So if you spot me, come and say hello. I'll be at the back with a beer, enjoying them from the back. They have. I mean, I don't think I can play this for you because they're big enough to have registered their songs on copyright registering things. So they've got 2 tracks: The Summoning and The Chokehold. A Chokehold and The Summoning. So check them out if you vaguely. Because you know what? Not everybody likes Sleep Token, I'm realising. Despite how much I go on about them and like them. You do see some comments online saying various things. But I really like them. And so check out their new singles, Chokehold and The Summoning. I can only think... Do you know that they're not slouching and getting new music out? They're really... And despite being on tour... You know, when are they getting the chance to go in the studio and record these? I don't know, but they're busy. And I like that about Sleep Token. They're doing it.
They are doing it.
They are with each other.
The masks are there to cover their shame.
Yes. So, that is Festpod Favourites, and that's the end of the show. So, it is time to plug what else you do. What else have you got going on? Let's start with you, Eamon.
All right, I'll plug first. So, I'm going to do my usual, which is my Twitch streams, which pretty much aren't much different to this. Yeah, we've got a lot coming up on at the minute, so I'm going to play a game called Hand Simulator soon, which I think is a PG game, but I'm not certain yet. We've got a lot. We've got a lot of stuff coming up.
Sorry, was that Hand Simulator?
Hand Simulator, yes. Apparently, it's very tricky, and you have to maneuver each finger to do certain acts.
Is that on is that PC based? Is it console based, or is it VR?
Lee wants to know how to get hold of this game.
It's hand based. No, I think it's PC based. I believe only. It can be VR as well. So I need to look at that because I do have an expensive VR headset sat in a box.
It just sounds like an intriguing premise. A hand simulator, because obviously I've seen the farming simulator and the jet wash, or whatever it's called, simulator, and they're
yeah, they're all things.
Hands.
Yeah, it cost me about £1 for 3 versions of the game. So this is going to sum up how it is, because there's Hand Simulator, Hand Simulator Horror, and something else about hands and simulators. So it's going to be a treat. So it's twitch.tv/shortyetv if you want to torture yourself some more.
Yes. Lee, now I know that you have abandoned ship when it comes to social media. You're out the side of the boat, and have you even got a life raft?
My life raft would be TikTok at TE_LEIGH_vision, or television, as I tried to put a nice little pun to it. Send me stuff, man. Like I'd anything stupid or music based, just send me stuff. That's the only way you're going to be able to reach me at the minute. Again, it's potentially just a little hiatus. It could be permanent. Who knows?
Lee wants videos to watch, so make some videos and send them to him. He will watch them.
You don't have to make them. Just, if you choose to post it to me.
I have a few in a dark drawer for you.
Yes, in a special folder in your phone that's marked secret.
Yeah.
That's the £50 tier for Patreon, isn't it? Those sorts of videos.
Definitely, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, if you like what you've heard and you'd like to help us out a little bit, please consider supporting Festpod on Patreon. And thank you to those who have. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Some nice rewards going out as well, I spot on the social media. So if you have enjoyed this as well, please give us a review. Wherever you found us, we're on a lot of podcast catchers, including Audible, which I found us on the other day. We're on the socials and YouTube. Just search for Festpod and you'll find all of our bits and bobs. Just give us a cheeky subscribe and a follow and all that good business, the usual thing. And we've also got a teensy bit of merch on sale too. So go to etsy.com, and search for Festpod there to find it. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again next time. See you later. Bye. A Wilco Productions podcast.
Hands!